Hey, what's happening, y'all? Matt here. It's been a while since I posted anything. It's been months, in fact. Uh, and a big part of that has been this. Around we go. It's a tight space. Um, yeah, we moved. Laura and I bought a manufactured home out on some land, a little bit under an acre, and that has been an adventure and a challenge. Let me rotate where there's not glare in my glasses. Oh, looks like that's just going to be there anyway from the phone. Um, yeah, it was a 3 month long process. Stuff just kept going wrong. There's still a couple things that are kind of up in the air and worrying, but we are in the house. We are living, um, and trying to get stuff situated. So um, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this place. I've got to work on some cabinets and different things of that nature. But I've got my new studio room mostly set up. So part of the plan is right now I'm going to be working out of this spare bedroom. And since we have enough land, then later on we'll either, I don't know, maybe we've got a couple things we're kicking around, maybe building like a barn dominium on the other side because the house is on like one side of the land. Um, if that doesn't work out, or, that whether that be finances or just logistics or whatever, then we're talking about maybe there's some spaces where we could build like an outbuilding and I can build a dedicated studio. Um, there's, and if we build like the barn dominium, if that happens, then maybe this whole manufactured home can become like a studio. We don't know. We don't know. That's in the future, far in the future. But for right now, I've got this spare bedroom that I get to work out of. So I actually have a dedicated room again. That's been that will be nice. I haven't gotten to do much in it yet. Um, but yeah, the working in the living room, progress was just not being made. I wasn't able to actually get in there and work because I'm having to work around, family activities and everything like that. I still have a little bit of that going on here because I am right next to the kids' room. So if I'm working at night or anything, I've got to be on headphones, but that's doable. It's doable. And when the wife and kid aren't here, then the Mateo gets to play. And yeah, I've already done some cool stuff. I've got some guitars to check out. I did a I produced a song for family that turned out pretty good. They're a gospel country singer, so not entirely in my wheelhouse, but I think we pulled off something cool. I'll see if I can get her permission to maybe put that on the YouTube channel. She doesn't want to release or sell it. That was really just a for her thing, which she's recorded a whole album before and did the same thing. She personally made CDs and gave those out to friends and family. And it was just a thing that she wanted to do because it was in her heart to do it. And, you know, that's cool. Art for art's sake is always appreciated. So that's all been a thing, and potential to talk with someone about recording some dialogue and singing over pre-recorded tracks for a Christmas show that they produce. Um, so we'll see how those conversations go. And then I've got a friend who is wanting to get into game development, and he asked if I wanted to be on the dev team as an audio guy and maybe help with some of the scripting and programming and some of the game design elements as well. So, and video game audio is something I've really been wanting to get into. He's using Game Maker, which I'm certified in Wise, right there's my certificate right there. And Wwise doesn't really work well with GameMaker, but Fmod does, so I'll try out Fmod. But in the meantime, hey, let me show you the new space. It's a little cramped. There's not a whole lot of room to like bring in a full band or anything, but it's plenty of room for me to work and to maybe bring in one or two other people, like singer-songwriter type of thing, and collaborators, and do fun stuff. In the meantime, I've got all my equipment set up. Let me flip the camera. So, I got my electronic drum kit set up. Part of the cool thing about this smaller space that I wasn't anticipating is that I can easily run USB cables from MIDI capable devices to my computer and it not be a big deal. So we've got the drum set and my piano that are hooked up to the computer over there. And then of course we've got the desk. So I've got the iPad that I can use for like a control surface. I did add a bigger keyboard tray. The keyboard tray worked kinda when it was installed with the default top, but I custom built this top to fit my Model 24 mixer. And yeah, there was no place to put the original keyboard tray, but luckily this desk frame, I'll see if I can find a link, put it in the description, can have a different keyboard tray that mounts on the sides instead of under the top, and you can gets a little bit lower, so my mouse even fits a little bit better. That's cool. But yeah, I've got the Callies, I've got my Avantone speaker, the Behringer XL monitor controller, my Model 24 that I've got labeled here. I've even got some labels for planned purchases. So you can see I've got a couple empty spaces in my rack up here. So I've got my SSL Fusion. This is routed. I've got this coming from the sub on the Model 24, so that goes to the Fusion, and then it comes back in on 19 and 20. So that's something I can easily just, if I'm doing a mix, I can send to the Fusion and then bring it back in and record that, or just bounce it. I'm even trying a new thing where I've got over here in the rack, I've got my 2 power conditioners and my 2 Scarletts, as well as a Behringer line mixer. And one thing about the Model 24 that I don't like, and they fixed this in 2400, but I had already bought the Model 24, is that phantom power is global. So you've got a single phantom power button here that then applies to all of your preamps. And I like to have a little bit more control than that. And these preamps tend to be a little bit colored. Like they're really good preamps, but they are not designed to be like super transparent. Whereas I found that the preamps in the Scarlett are actually really relatively transparent. So I've got 2 line outs coming from the Scarlett coming into some line ins on the Model 24. So that if I need something a little bit cleaner and I need, I want to apply phantom power, like especially for my Slate ML1 and ML2, those I can plug into the Scarlett and route over here. I don't know what that's going to do with latency. That might prove to be an issue, but only one way to find out, right? So got all that going. I've got my voice channel over here, which is routed into channel 5 on my Model 24. So if at any point I want some tube goodness on a track, which I really like the voice channel on an SM57 on a guitar speaker. So that's something I can do here. And so all this is connected and routed. I've got my DI going plugged in. That's got, so I've got an input, which the cable I keep down here. And then the throughput is coming into my Boss V-Wah, which is then going into the HX effects, which then has an output that's going all the way over here. And you can see the guitar collection. Basses, 7-string, Strat style, and then over into my single cuts, and then the ones that don't fit in a rack. And this is new, and I'm gonna try and work on starting another video for this today. I brought this home from work. I'll tell the story in that video, but yeah, wanted to do a review on that one. So it's got some cool stuff. 12-string, the Dean ML, acoustic, all that kind of stuff along that wall. And then those cables run over here. And let me turn on this light. Into the amp/mic closet. So I've got microphones, headphones, all that stuff stashed up here. And then amps over here. So the Vox, the Marshall, the Katana, the Orange, my load box, which I need to get a longer cable to connect that to the Marshall. And so I've got a line out from the Katana, a line out from the load box, and mic cable runs from the 57 and the ML2 that are all already plugged in and running to the Model 24, so that if I ever have an idea or I'm working with somebody and we want to try something, we can. It's just ready to go, rock and roll. Acoustic treatment wise, we've got some Leonard bass traps and some corner fills. I've got my usual 2 foot by 4 foot by 2 inch acoustic panels. Got those kind of evenly distributed around the space, and I'm doing a live end, dead end approach. So, and so you can see behind me, I've got the diffusers, which I did a thing. We'll see. The remote works. The remote works. Look at there. Now one's not plugged in because I was just in that closet. But put some LEDs around those diffusers just to look cool. That'll look cool in videos. So another thing, which the remote doesn't always like to work on these. They're kind of cheaper. Lighting change. So yeah, the space sounds pretty good, pretty even. There's a couple EQ things I'm gonna have to adjust and get used to as far as working in this room. I've been working in a relatively untreated and uneven space, right next to a corner for so long that it's gonna take my ears a little bit to get used to working in a dedicated space again. When I was working at the duplex, I mean, really, headphones saved me. The Slate VSX system and being able to check my mixes through that really helped keep my work from going incredibly downhill in that space. I'm very appreciative of our landlords, and I will say and I talked to them about this, I've got a lot of opinions about the current renters economy, I'll say, and I'm rather frustrated with investment firms and things like that taking over single family housing. But the landlords that we had were a couple, and yes, they owned a lot of properties, and that was how they were funding their retirement. So like they were looking to make a profit, right? They weren't just letting people live there out of the kindness of their hearts. But it is way different renting from a couple, from human beings that you know and have a relationship with, that you can go to lunch with and talk about things. They happen to be very involved in one of the local churches, You know, these are people who are people, not a nameless, faceless corporation. And so I'm grateful that we had that, and we really needed it. You know, and they could. There was one time they gifted us a free month. They said, "Don't pay rent this month. You guys have been great tenants." Like, they did cool stuff like that, um, just to say thank you and be appreciative. And therefore, we did our best to respect their property. You know, and it was there was a relationship there, and I'm very appreciative of that. So, as many issues as I had with the duplex as a workspace, it was a great place to live. And as far as renting goes, you couldn't ask for better landlords. Like, they're cool people, and I'm glad. Like, I wish the economy was better where we could have bought a house sooner, but I am glad that when we were in that place where we needed to rent, um, we had the Blackshears to rent from. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And now I'm here, and we're trying to get situated. Like I said, there's a lot of repairs and stuff I'm working on today. Um, I've been going around and getting weeds out from where I'm gonna build a patio eventually, and putting bug barrier down. And next, I've got to go and stain and seal our front steps. I did the back steps last weekend or last week sometime. I don't know. What is time? Um, so I've got a lot of projects like that. I've got some cabinets I need to work on. The installers for this place kind of half-ass things, and that's a discussion for another time. I have formulated some strong opinions about half-assing and how it has infiltrated so many things in our culture. um, because it was this the experience of buying this house was an experience in half-assery, and I will tell that tale at another time. Um, but right now, I just wanted to kind of do an impromptu, not edited, um, not even with my good camera, just on my cell phone video, just kind of showing the space, showing what we got. You know, I've got all my treatment up. I've got my metal butterflies in here in tribute to my mom. Um, took my was able to bring both of our real bookshelves in, in the house to use for our actual books, and so able to reclaim my little bookshelf from the kid, so I can have some books and things in here. And uh, yeah, I'm excited to get to work in this space and see what I can do. I've already kind of started working on one tune, and you know, hopefully within the next year or two, finish up those last two albums that I've had halfway done for the last several years, and get those out into the world. And you know, just keep on trucking, working on through projects, and uh, yeah, exciting stuff. But anyway, I'll call it here. This went on a lot longer than I intended, but I hope all of y'all are doing great. Um, and yeah, we'll talk soon. Anyway, thanks a bunch for tuning in. Sorry I've been gone for so long, but I appreciate you. You're awesome. Have a good one.